What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to Park to Prem here with Towler Town. Today, it's a new year. It's the 4th of January, the day before you're watching this. If we hit the like goal on the earlier video today, I'm going to be honest with you, recording it before episode 4's gone up. So, if it's the same day, happy double upload day. If it's not, well, I've probably recorded a different intro, so you're never ever hearing this. But yes, we're back again today, and well, we are just one day prior to the real date that I'm uploading this video. And, well, you can see here, things are going okay, although today's game is against Billingham Sin in the league, which, well, you might be able to work out what that implies. Unfortunately, we could not muster up a cup run, and, well, since you were last here, it's really been the most difficult month, I think, since we took over. You can see we've played in a lot of different competitions, and we've played throughout the month of December 6 games since the Norwich United defeat, and it's not been particularly great. You can see Chesterley Street beat us 1-0 away from home. It was an Akbas own goal, an unfortunate deflection for the right back, but it kind of really compounds just how tough his start to time at the club has been. It's not been particularly great. In our next game, however, we did get revenge on Chesterley Street, a 2-0 victory. Sam Greenwood and Ben Donnelly-Blackburn with the goals in this one. 2 defenders getting on the score sheets. The first, a big ball over the top deep into the box, and while the second one, for Donnelly-Blackburn, the Ginger Ninja, it was just a quite good finish. For a left-back, I was quite impressed with the finish. You can see it in front of you now. But yes, into that bottom corner it went, and well, you can see this guy here, he's a bit of an interesting character. He's got absolutely incredible physicals for this level. Everything else about him's kind of average, but at the same time, as far as left-backs go, I feel like he does quite a good job for us. He's very well-rounded, obviously the physicals are superb, and I mean, his average rating in the league isn't particularly good, but across all competitions, it's fine, I guess. Defensively, we've definitely had problems, and I feel like that is reflected in this run of results here. Anyway, our next game, really disappointing result this one, a 1-1 draw against Jarrow. However, I'm absolutely going to blame the weather for this one. You can see the highlights in front of you. It snowed. We had to get, a shovel and spade out and clear the lines, paint them blue so they could be seen. The yellow ball wasn't great as far as a design choice goes, because we couldn't see what was happening in truth. And I'm going to use that as the excuse for this game, which finished 1-1. Following on from that, we beat Easington Colliery in the league 4-2. A good result there. Mark Kennedy again getting on the score sheet with a brace. The centre attacking mid slowly starting to pick up goals. And, well, very slowly but surely starting to learn to play as a centre attacking mid as well. So even if he's a little bit on the decline, he is still by far and away our best kind of playmaking option. We then took on Penrith in the Northern League Challenge Cup. They are a team in the league above us, but with it being still kind of an early round in the competition, the third round, elected not to do it as a live comp. A 1-0 defeat in this one was pretty disappointing. Just a breakaway for them, came from the wide areas, and, well, they ran out victors. And in our most recent game, we took on Washington, a 3-1 win in this game, and, well, Ryan Ferguson, the postman, he delivered. He got a hat-trick, continued his goal-scoring antics, and that takes him to 19 in the season in the league, which is pretty good, all things considering. But it's not been the best run of games, and that's kind of reflected in, well, if we look at the league table where we sit right now, because we're in second. Bedlington are 6 points ahead of us, but they have played a game more than us. Today we're taking on Billingham Sin, who were predicted to finish 6th. You can see they've been in some really, really good form as well. They've won 4 of their last 5. And this is a pretty essential game for us to win. You can see Durham City 3 points behind us. Much like a lot of the teams around us, they have played an extra game, but we are certainly not pulling away, and there is a real risk that if we were to slip up here, that Bedlington would just pull away and, well, secure the top of the table with just 14 games left of the season after today. But it is January. There has been some transfer business going on. Let's discuss it, because 2 new additions to the team and 2 new goalkeepers. On the outs, however, we did release a goalkeeper. I'm sorry, Stephen James. You played 1 game for us. It was his first ever senior game. He was really happy. But I've got some very good new goalkeepers in, and I didn't really fancy having 4 goalkeepers in the first team. It just felt a little excessive. So let's discuss the new additions on the goalkeeping front, because it's definitely the area of problems for us. Defensively, we've not been good enough. And well, the first of the players we've got is Nikos Mylonopoulos. I'm just going to call you Nikos because that's easier. But this guy, a Greek goalkeeper, 24 years old, he's got 14 penalty takings. So if we go to a shootout and we need a man to step up, he could be the player for us. But he's a pretty solid goalkeeper, all things considering. 24 years old, and well, he's formerly of AEK Athens. So I'm going to claim that that means something. In truth, when you look at his career, it's slightly underwhelming, but he did get 10 clean sheets in 21 games to start the first half of the season for Atherton. So joining us now, he could be a very good addition. And the other player we've signed from Billingham Sin, who he played today, which is why we're doing today's game, because we took their star man, Kalin Roberts. He was in the media Dream 11 for our division as the best goalie. I wasn't sure how good he was, but we tried to sign him earlier and he wasn't interested. Came around to January time and he'd had a change of tune and decided, actually, we were of a calibre good enough for him. He's joined us, 14 handling, 14 reflexes, 5 one-on-ones. Everything looks good except the one-on-ones, and they are a bit of a concern because they're quite important this year in Football Manager, it feels like. But a very good goalkeeper, and he is head and shoulders above some of the other players we've got. If we just compare him to Nikos, you can see a direct comparison here. To be honest, I'm going to give them both a chance to see who can do best, because we've had O'Neill for a lot of the year, and he's kind of disappointing. I don't want to react too soon to Kalin Roberts, but between him and Nikos, there isn't a great deal of quality difference. Obviously, when you look at the star ratings, there is, but just as a reminder, star ratings are staff opinions, and our staff aren't very good at having opinions. Their opinions are wrong, is what I'm saying. So take them with, well, very little, I guess. Don't take them too seriously, although I would say that Kalin Roberts probably is a tiny bit better. If we just look at the squad on the whole, though, you can see a lot of the star ratings have started to update, and it kind of gives you a good idea of who the kind of real star players are in the team. And whilst I feel like a few of these players with 2 stars, such as Michaela, are vastly underrated, I definitely agree with the assessment of the star players being the players with more stars. You know, players like Ryan Ferguson, Kelledy, Sonny Best, of course, out on the right, Romario Vieira, and obviously Kalin Roberts, who's come in, I think, is a very, very good goalkeeper. I haven't mentioned this, we're paying him £160 a game. That is far, far more than I wanted to pay him. But the good news is, it's a punt, obviously, to sign him, and if he doesn't perform well, we just don't have to play him. And if he does perform well and we keep playing him, he's probably going to be worth paying that extra money for. You can see Nikos again, you know, punching a little bit above our previous weight, I guess, when it comes to the spending I was willing to make, really just to solve the goalkeeper problem. I'm hoping that one of these 2 players is going to solve it, otherwise I might cry. I would still like to improve the defence a little bit, because I feel like at centre-back, really, we've got Sam Greenwood, who's been okay, albeit with some discipline issues. Russell Carter-Thompson, who, to be fair to him, he's done okay for us, but 7 yellow cards in 11 again is a little bit not so great. And Butty, I like him, but 6 jumping reach, 1 strength. That's just not good enough for a centre-back for me, and I've kind of stopped using him because of that. I would love to get someone else in there. We do have a 4th choice centre-back in Fawn here, but he is very much a versatile left-back rather than an out-and-out centre-back. He's our backup left-back. I don't know if I've ever shown him before. Formerly of Derby, if I'm not mistaken. He's an okay little player. 2 assists in 9 games. He's done fine for us. In terms of tactics, I have continued to tweak things, and this is what I've currently settled on. So, in terms of what's changed, the fullbacks are now on support duty instead of attack, and instead of Kelledy being on support and the inverted wingers being on attack, we've reversed it. So Kelledy in the centre should get further forward, and I think that's been kind of one of the reasons he's been getting more goals recently. And then Michaela and Best on either wing are going to hopefully help us out defensively, because if we just look at our analyst report here, we're conceding far too many goals from crosses, and I think this is a combination of factors. I think it's a combination of we're not doing well enough in the wide areas defensively. We like to defend quite narrow, which is fine, but I feel like we were being a bit naive, I guess, in just how attacking we were being in the defensive wide areas. So with inverted wingers on support, they'll drop deeper a little bit more, and I want our defenders to be a little less adventurous because, well, if we just look at the home screen here, yes, we've scored the most goals in the league, but defensively, we've conceded 30 goals in 23 games. That is just... it's not good enough. It's not title-winning defending, and I would like to add a bit more to our defence. If we just look at current scouting assignments, I have currently got an assignment to look for a centre-back. I'm hoping some are going to turn up. This is only a recent kind of thing that we've started doing. Yeah, keep an eye out for it, because it's definitely something that I would like to solve down the line. Obviously, we get some recommendations thrown our way, but we've not had any centre-back really thrown our way. We've had a few free agent offers. Maybe I should just take some of these players on trials and see what they can do. This has kind of been one of the general approaches, to getting players. If an agent offers someone, give them a trial, see if they're any good, and react accordingly. Although, in truth, since really November, maybe October time, I've not looked to add more players to our first team, because at least right now it doesn't feel like our players are going to get poached. We've not had any interest shown in them. Obviously, I can't really predict when that might happen, and it is a shame that we can't protect our players more by offering them, larger contracts and actual proper contracts where they can't just be poached away. But that's the nature of the beast in Tier 10. You don't really have a choice. Anyway, you can see today we're obviously taking on Billingham. Worth mentioning, I have to mention this. Brandon, you've got 3 points in 24 games. They've not won a game yet. I feel bad for them. They've drawn their last 2 games, to be fair to them, so maybe the recovery is going to happen. And they've actually got their draws against Chester Lee Street and Eschwinning, who they're 2 of the better teams in the division, in truth. So, Brandon, come on, you can do better. Fortunately for them, because below Tier 10 hasn't been added, they can't get relegated. But, Brandon, I believe in you. One day, down the line, we'll be a much better team, and we'll take them on as a little affiliate club and loan them players and help them out. That's my vision for the future. I want Brandon to succeed, and I will do anything in my power to help them. I'm not entirely sure why I have an affiliation to them. Anyway, because we're past the halfway mark in the season, we have started to sign our staff members onto new contracts. Of course, we have quite a large staff team. You can see some of them have started to sign new contracts. A few of them, some of the staff that we signed more recently, are still a little hesitant to sign new deals just yet, but hopefully down the line we can just renew these all. I'm very, very happy with the general setup that we've got here at the club. Obviously, we have a huge backroom staff team for what we have, although when you look at what the staff are earning, we can kind of justify that kind of, amount of staff members, because they're not being paid a great deal. I mean, we've got a scout, Lee, here on £15 a week. Bless him. I don't know what he spends his £15 a week on. Someone can let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's cheap. I feel bad almost. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about before we get into today's game, but I don't think there is. Obviously, after this game, there is only going to be 14 league games left of the season. A win here would be huge for us. This is not our game in hand. But if Durham could slip up, we could win, that would be nice. If Bedlington could slip up, that would be nice. We do still have to play Bedlington before the end of the season. So that's definitely a match to keep your eyes open for. And let's just see how we get on today. I've continued to tweak things. As you saw with some of the player roles, we've changed them. Another thing that I have started to change, and I will just show you in the tactics screen, is when it comes to out of possession. Is it out of possession? I'm trying to remember now. In transition, I've got rid of counter press. I feel like we were getting a lot of bookings because we were trying to counter press teams. So I've changed things up now. So we're not going to tackles quite as hard. Part of me actually wants to try playing regroup. I know a lot of people have trouble with long balls over the top this year in FM20's match engine right now. If you play on regroup, a lot of people are saying that actually can solve a lot of that defensive issue. So if that is a problem for you, maybe give that a go. We may well give that a go over the course of trying to solve our defensive woes. And well, I'm hoping that obviously our new goalkeeper is going to make something happen, as Michaela has a great opportunity, and actually Brocklehurst, Billingham Sin's new goalkeeper, coming to the rescue. Of course, we've stolen their first choice keeper, so there's a bit of a grudge match, I guess, going on with our keeper in Roberts, and of course Brocklehurst, who would have been his number 2, who now has ascended from, I guess, apprentice to master. And well, as far as we're concerned, Roberts has to start performing. I need a goalkeeper who can make saves. Maybe that's too much to ask for at this level, but I want to believe it's possible. Let's see how we get on here. Vieira whips it in. It falls so kindly to Ryan Ferguson. He is offside, though. That was very, very marginal. One of their defenders looked inconsolable there. He was really heartbroken about what had just happened. I mean, apparently he was offside from that ball there, but I guess that's technically correct by the offside rules, but it did come off the defender. I don't know if that should have been given offside. I'm going to claim that is an officiating mistake, because those are programmed into FM for the officials to make mistakes, and that feels like the nicest way to justify having a goal chalked off. Anyway, they've got the ball here. Donnelly Blackburn, what can he do here? He plays it to Michaela. Long ball over the top to the postman. What can Ryan do for us here? He hits it. It's blocked. I think that may have been the chance, and I'm a little bit underwhelmed that that was the chance that Football Manager's decided to show us. You can see they've had one shot on target. We've also had one shot on target, though, despite having 10 more shots in total than them. We could do with converting more of these. I guess the one silver lining I can find is the fact that we look reasonably solid defensively. I mean, we've not conceded so far in the first half. Oh, have I just jinxed it? No. Although that was a very bendy free kick. I'm impressed by the technique of Warne there. And while we now have a free kick, Helledy to Greenwood. And well, there you go. He's taken a bow. He's got another goal. We saw his goal in the recap. He's now got 2 in the space of less than a month. He's loving it, the centre-back. And Helledy with the ball in just pings it across. I don't know if Brocklehurst could have done better there. Maybe Roberts would have saved it for them. Either way, we get a slender lead going into half-time. That's what you want to see, isn't it? Let's see how we can build from this as Ferguson boots it to Connolly, who forgets his existence and almost lets Sonny Best in. But they did get the ball away. This is not as convincing as I would like, but if we can keep a clean sheet, that would make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I definitely feel like we need to solve things defensively. I think some of the player role changes we have done are going to help with that. I hope it's not going to, reduce our attacking potency, because that's obviously been a big signature of our season so far. But yeah, as you saw, we've conceded 30 goals in 23 league games. That's not good. It's not even like okay. It's bad. There's no other way of looking at it. It's not good enough. So I need to look to remedy that. Obviously, new goalkeepers coming in will give both of them an opportunity to show us what they're made of. I'm going to make some changes here because Michaela's not performed very well. We're going to bring in Jordan Jowers, who is one of the more senior players in the team. He's kind of our super versatile sub. And you know what? We'll bring in the Moab as well, because Ryan Ferguson up front, not at the best of games. So he's going to swap with his former Leeds United compatriot in Moab, and let's see what they can do here as the ball. I mean, that looked like a weird tackle in 3D. That could be a red card for Kinch. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. It is a red card. We'll take that. Scott Kinch lunged in, and from here, being a goal up, being a man up as well, we have to get 3 points from this kind of game. Long ball to Donnelly Blackburn. I almost called him Donnelly Dackburn. That wouldn't be correct. McKeown has just burnt our defensive speed. What are we doing? That was not far wide. That's concerning. Right, boys, demand more. We could still make one more sub. You know what? Romario Vieira, you've done actually okay, but Lee Ferguson, less so. Tyrell Palmer, come onto the pitch. You little midfielder maestro. There he is. The ball over the top to Moab. I mean, there you go. Midfield maestro. Can we discuss that pass by Tyrell Palmer? He is left-footed, which makes it slightly less impressive than if it had been on his weaker foot. But when your two subs link up like that, you have to love it. I mean, that's an incredible pass and an incredible finish. Playing heads and volleys, not letting the ball touch the ground from the throw-in. 2 goals up. We'll take that all the way to the bank and back. And a clean sheet would be lovely as well. If we could hold on now, please, boys, for the clean sheet. That would complete my day. I'd be extremely happy. That's not how to finish my day, Romario. What are you doing? It's a sending off. We're down a man. I can't believe what I've just witnessed. I mean, the good news is there's 4 minutes of added time, so I'm just going to drop our cam into centre mid, and that should be fine. And indeed it is. But, well, we're going to now be without Romario Vieira for the next game, which is a bit of a problem because he is one of our star midfielders. Tyrell Palmer did show us what he has to offer in his locker, though. It's a very big locker, and it's full of incredible volleyed passes across the pitch, as you saw. So that result there is great for us. It looks like Durham did slip up. They lost 1-0, and in losing 1-0, they have now dropped down to 6th. There is, well, you can see here, there's 4 teams separated by 1 point, hot on our heels. You can see Chester Lee Street do actually have a game in hand. They have the same amount of games played as us, however. So a win for us could put us in a really good position now to hopefully cruise towards the automatic promotion spots. I would still really, really, really like to close down Bedlington and have a fight for the title. You can see we've got to play them in mid-February time. So that's probably when we'll be back next time, I imagine. That's going to be a massive, massive game against the Terriers. They are well, they were predicted to finish 5th. They've gone very well this year. You could argue they've overperformed. Owen Bridge apparently is their key player. He's got between 9 and 16 finishing and some pace, apparently. I can't tell you how much, but some pace. So I guess he's been the big kind of difference maker for them. You can see they play a 4-4-2. I imagine defensively, we need more performances like this and maybe 1 or 2 new additions. I would love to find that new golden nugget of a centre-back for that next game. We'll have to wait and see if such a player exists, though. And, well, just one more thing before I forget. We have had our youth candidate mini preview come through. The good news is we've got some centre-backs who look promising, some full-backs who look promising. Nothing else, but to be honest, right here and now, we need defenders. Also, in truth, these players that we get in these early intakes probably aren't going to be first-team players down the line with the ambitions I have, for hopefully surging up the leagues. But nevertheless, it's nice to have our own talent developing, and you never know, maybe one player will turn out to be an absolute god, and we can really make him into something special. But that will have to, I guess, be a mystery until April. It's a late intake here at Towlaw. Additionally, if I've said Towlaw today, I'm really sorry. Towlaw and Towlaw, I keep getting them muddled up. I know it's Towlaw. I need to sit and record myself just saying it repeatedly on an iPhone and then play it on loop when I lay in bed at night. Then I'll get it right with Towlaw each and every time. But that seems very drastic. But that's probably what it's going to come to, because I am an incompetent human being, as many of you will know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, as always. Hopefully I see you guys again tomorrow. A huge game against Bedlington. First versus second, I hope, barring a minor catastrophe. And yeah, hopefully we can come away with 3 points in that one and continue on a fine defensive run. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.